When I talk to my YouTube subscribers and viewers by phone or by Zoom, they're always giving me a list of their non-negotiable must-have items for a 55-plus community. The thing I find interesting, though, is they rarely lead with the home that they want. It's a list of must-have items in their community. So I thought it would be good today to kind of go over a lot of those things that are important to the people that call me, and if they're important to those people, I'm betting they're important to you. Most people are really concerned about what their life is going to look like once they get to their 55-plus community. I started thinking about this. Kind of reminds me of this old children's book, Go Dog Go. Do you guys remember this from when we were kids and from our kids' lives? And some of you, like me, read this to your grandkids. It basically talks about all these little dogs who live a crazy little life, and they're always driving around in little cars. Oh, reminds you of anything? Golf cars, maybe? But at the end of the book, near the end, it talks about all the dogs are driving somewhere in their car. Look where they're going. They're all going over to that tree. Next page. Now the cars stop. They're at the tree. What are they going to do there? Will they work there? Will they play there? I don't know. Up they go to the top of the tree. And you know, on and on and on. So we need to look at, it sounds crazy, but we need to look at our lives like these little dogs in this book. We are the people in the cars. We're just not dogs. Where are we going? What are we going to do when we get there? Will we work there? Maybe. Will we play there? I hope so. So let's talk about some of the things that are important in a 55-plus community. What used to be important may not be important today. One of those things that people don't ask me about much is golf. Golf has kind of become a secondary thing. We have great golf communities, but that's not one of the number one things. I would say, though, that overall recreation is a very big deal. Those of you who saw my video about the villages, that was the weirdest thing. The recreation centers were kind of like the Hall of Presidents or something. It was very formalized and didn't feel like a lot of recreating going on inside. Just a different kind of rec center than what we have in Arizona and in other states around the U.S. But recreation is a big deal, indoors or outdoors. Pickleball is one thing that everybody says they want to try. Well, I shouldn't say everybody, but almost everybody. Some people are already playing, and if you are one of those people, you know that one hit of pickleball, it's like crack, and then you're hooked. For those of you who want to take lessons, there will be lots of lessons. But if pickleball is your thing and you're really into it, we're going to need to find you a community with a lot of courts. There are lots of things besides pickleball as well. If you are a swimmer, you're going to want to look for a community that has your kind of swimming. I have some people that are lap swimmers. Well, you need a lot of lanes for when you go swimming in the morning. You don't want to have to wait your turn. Maybe an indoor swimming lap pool and an outdoor lap pool, or maybe one or the other. But if you're a social swimmer, which is what I am, I haven't swam the length of the pool since probably 1978, maybe sooner or earlier than that. But you're going to want a social pool, maybe one that plays fun music, maybe one that has lots of cool people hanging around. We'll check that out when you come for your visit. One of the biggest keywords I hear people use is hiking. Hiking is a really big deal here in Arizona and may or may not be in other states. So if you really like to hike, that's something we're going to have to factor into your equation. Hiking trails nearby, or even in your own neighborhood, in the case of some of our communities, are a big deal for people. It's a big draw. You don't have to pay. You don't have to sign up. You just go do it. People love to hike. Where you have hiking, you're going to have walking, you're going to have bike riding. They all kind of go together. So that is a big deal for most of the people that reach out to me. The next thing is just overall fitness. The people that are looking at 55 plus today, are not your grandparents. Let's just clarify that. A lot of times people think that 55 plus is like our grandparents playing cards and board games and shuffleboard. It is much more than that. So fitness is high on everybody's radar. The people that watch this channel trend a little bit younger, 55 to 65. And so you guys get this. You're wanting to do things like go to the gym every day. You want good cardio equipment. You want good weights and things, you don't want to wait forever for the one treadmill that they have. If they have yoga studios or Pilates, that's a big bonus for a lot of people. So fitness is something that we really have to take into consideration because we all want to stay fit and we want that easily accessible in our community. We don't want to have to drive downtown to a gym just to do our workout. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is dining. I have a lot of people who say, we want to be able to eat or dine in our community. What that means to you might be different to another person. Sounds like I'm in the Enchanted Tiki Room. It makes me want to sing that song, but I won't, don't worry. But if you want a place to maybe get a coffee after your workout, you're going to want a community that has that service. And a lot of them do. They'll have a coffee bar and maybe some muffins and that kind of thing, light bites. Other communities will have a full-on breakfast place that you can dine at. So there are going to be various levels of dining, and some of our big communities like Pebble Creek, Saddlebrook Ranch, Quail Creek, will have all the bells and whistles of dining. They've got barbecue, they've got a takeout window where you can stop and get a pizza on a Friday night, a wood-fired pizza. They've even got breweries in there. And speaking of brewing, bars are also a big deal. Now, not because everybody is over drinking. I don't think most people do in these communities. But occasionally, if you want to go out for a drink or meet friends for a happy hour, it might be nice to have some sort of bar/dining facility in your community. If that's important to you, tell me, and we need to look for that. Some communities are much more scaled down. Let's say a smaller Del Webb community. They're not going to have 3 restaurants to choose from, but they are going to have some nice places to get something light. You're just going to need to drive downtown to go out to eat. No big deal. In many of these communities, they are starting to be surrounded by really great places to go eat and drink. But if you want it in your community, that is going to narrow down your search, but it definitely is a must-have for many people. The next thing that people have on their list of non-negotiables is a sense of community. Now, I'm going to tell you that this is not just for married people. A lot of us singles can easily find community in these neighborhoods, but you're going to find your tribe based on your interests. So if you're a pickleball person, you're going to find those people. If you're a bocce ball person, you're going to find those people. The knitters club, the scrapbooking club, the billiards groups, theater groups, whatever your interest is, you're going to find that community. Then what you'll see is there's a little bit of crossover that you'll know somebody from bocce that you see at one of the theater productions and vice versa. So pretty soon it's like, what is that thing called? The Venn diagram. You're going to find all the people with all of your interests in the middle of the diagram, and there is your community. What it is going to require, though, is that you leave your house. If you are somebody who is just moving because you hate the weather where you're at, okay, we're going to find a much smaller size, less expensive community because you're not going to use those amenities. But if you are looking for a whole new lifestyle and you want to make friends and meet people and maybe volunteer, maybe you want to be in the theater group, we have communities that will accommodate you, and I think you're going to love it. Now, the last thing I'm going to force you to think about is what kind of house you want. When I say what kind, I don't care about how it looks. I need to know, do you have to have brand new, or can you have a resale house? Having a brand new home built is going to afford you the luxury of a little bit of time to sell your current home. A lot of people need that. Some people don't really care. Maybe you don't have to sell your house. If you are selling your house and you don't have the luxury of time, we can do a quick move-in at a new home, or we can buy a resale home. What that means, though, is they are going to want you to have your current home under contract and through all inspections, just to mitigate the risk for the home seller. So you, as the buyer, need to do some organizing prior to making your house hunting trip, which involves calling me your trusted guide. So let's get back to the book. What were the dogs going to the big tree for? We all know how the story ends. A dog party. They were having a dog party. Does that kind of remind you of us and who we want to be? Now, I'm not wearing a party hat, I can tell you that, but I do have some nice Kentucky Derby hats. If you need one, call me, I'll loan you one. However, what this is just what we want our life to be. Going around, having fun with all of the other people, doing whatever our interest is. It really doesn't matter as much about the house. The house is kind of a secondary thing. We can find you a great home in every community for sure, in your price range. What I want you to do, though, is reach out to me at the number below on the screen so we can schedule a time to talk about your upcoming move. Even if it's 3 years, if it's 8 years from now, give us a call. We would love to be your real estate advisors in the 55+ world. Not just every agent can really speak to all of these communities like we can. I'd love a chance to talk to you very soon.